teams cooking at the right time and go from there. Let me throw this question out to everybody here real quick. Start Darvin Ham for a quick second. Okay. Darvin Ham, coach of the Lakers, now an assistant coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. If I ask Laker fans, because in the beginning of the season, Darvin Ham's name, guys, we get 2 games against the Bucks, and then that's it. There's going to be no more conversation about the Bucks nor Darvin Ham. But I just want to ask Laker fans this real quick. Darvin Ham's name has come up a ton this season. More early on in the year, I would say less over the last month and a half, 2 months. What was most frustrating to you about Darvin Ham? What was it that was most frustrating about Darvin Ham and the Los Angeles?
All right, family, I need to tap in and ask you a question.
Hey, yo!
What was Darvin Ham's weakness? Why do you feel Darvin Ham is no longer the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers? Was it adjustments, things needing to be done around the roster, that his relationship by becoming too close to players had gotten away and affected his decision-making skills in order to put the Los Angeles Lakers in the best route to make a push for a championship?
Angeles Lakers. I played a quote here. This was about a week ago. Patrick Beverley was doing one of his podcasts, and Patrick Beverley said that nobody wanted to hear Darvin Ham during his rah-rah speeches. Nothing. What they wanted to know was, give us what you want us to do on the floor. Let it show us that you know what's going on. Show us that. Give us confidence that you can tactically beat another team. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of give you guys some of my frustrations with Darvin Ham, and I'm going to let people kind of give their opinion. This was a major conversation for a big part of the beginning part of the year. Last season, there were a lot of Laker fans that were frustrated with him. I'll tell you my number one frustration with Darvin Ham. I got a couple, but I'll tell you one. One that jumps into mind right away is he's too stubborn. Wasn't willing to say.
Since I know I got a lot of Laker supporters in the chat, I need you to drop, is he spitting facts or is he cap? Because I know for sure it was a lot of supporters of the Los Angeles Lakers that wanted Darvin Ham to move Austin Reeves and D'Lo to the bench, knowing that they are somewhat of defensive liabilities for the squad. And when it gets to the playoff push in the postseason, you got to be able to play defense. You got to play both sides of the ball.
You're gonna learn today.
Both sides.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to put my ego to the side here. Let's pull Taurean Prince out of the starting lineup. Let's just try something different. This isn't working. That would be one of my frustrations, was just not willing to adapt enough. And I think that's actually been one of the strengths of JJ Redick. You know, we've had this conversation before on the chat that with JJ, okay, D'Lo's in the starting lineup, D'Lo's out of the starting lineup. Reeves is in the starting lineup, Reeves is out of the starting lineup. Dalton Knecht is in the starting lineup, Dalton Knecht is out of the starting lineup. I'm going to play this guy more in this game because he's got it going. In the game against the Knicks, even as recent as that Knicks game, Lakers had that win at Crypto. What was part of the conversation? It was, hey, Gabe Vincent's got it going, Austin Reeves doesn't. I'm going to play Gabe Vincent. And then when I do call for Austin Reeves in overtime, I thought there were moments where,
simply put, man, you got to earn those opportunities. If you have motion, then they're going to want to use that motion in the game. They're not just going to let you sit idle when they know you're hot. It's always that one coach on the bench like, hey, coach, let's give him a try. I saw him in warm-ups. He looked like he got that fire in his eye today.
Hey, yeah.
JJ Redick went with the flow of the game rather than I'm going to stop the flow and I'm going to try to create something on my own here. So if that's kind of a proper way to put it. Okay, another frustration with Darvin Ham. I remember when Doc Rivers, you know, it's kind of interesting. You see this a couple different times. I remember when Doc Rivers was asked something about Darvin Ham, and he's like, it's ridiculous, basically, that the Lakers fired him, got the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals. He did get the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals, and you should give him credit for that. But he basically said it's ridiculous. He's not a head coach, and he's still not the coach of the Lakers. Charles Barkley, when he was going at that rant at JJ Redick, basically said that you're going to be no different than Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham, and you know, he goes on his rant. I think the tactical part for Darvin Ham certainly didn't help himself. The tactical part of I'm going to slice and dice teams because I'm just tactically going to outsmart another team. I think he lacked that as well. So those are probably the two things that frustrated me the most. But I'd say the most is I felt like he was stubborn. I thought there was too many times.
Those are two big things.
He was kind of stubborn in the sense of I'm going to do it my way, whether you like it or not. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Let's let some of the Laker fans kind of react.
All right, so we got reactions.
A couple in here. Ham didn't even know coaches are supposed to make adjustments. I will tell you this. I mean, Lakers hired him.
I beg your pardon.
So let's not forget that. If you got a problem with him, then really the bigger issue would be, well, why the front office?
Shots fired.
Take a look at a couple more here.
You're gonna learn today.
My boy be having so much trouble going through his comments.
LeBron and Dave McMenamin, okay? It says that per medical recommendation, if the Lakers are going to make any noise this year, we know that the only way they're going to be able to really make noise, they got to be healthy. They got to have their guys. This is no different for any of those other players that are out there. I don't care imagine if you're the Milwaukee Bucks and Dame can't go. Okay, then that's it. Your season's over. Imagine if you're the Boston Celtics and Jaylen Brown can't go. Cleveland's 100% beating you. The Cavs got probably Cavs and Celtics got really good depth. I mean, we all know that. But let me read at least this piece here of LeBron. And part of me wants to think that there's something positive in this report. Just the title of it, LeBron returns to LA as recovery is progressing well. Let me read a little bit of it.
All right, so he's about to give us a LeBron James injury update. Wait, hold up. Wait, have you ever found yourself struggling through these YouTube screens in order to find information about the NBA updates, news, rumors, buzz, and that hot tea? Well, you finally found the right spot.
And that's facts.
One-stop shop for all things basketball. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tap in so you could be back in. I promise that hot tea.
And that's facts.
Sources told Anya and Dave McMenamin, okay? It says that per medical recommendation, LeBron is returning back to LA, which is no surprise. There's no reason why. I think we were talking about this once we found out about his injury. It's like, go back to LA, start your recovery process, and then he could probably be in LA for 3-4 weeks or so before he has to go anywhere. Lakers had some home games, I know, in that fourth week if he was out, so he can be home there and just get the proper recovery. It says continues to progress well from a strained left groin, sources told ESPN's James or Shams Charania. The first thing that I think of, and I think we're all looking at this, we know what the injury initially said. He said it's going to sideline him for 1 to 2 weeks. So we all know the time frame. But I don't think anybody thinks that's the time frame, at least 1 to 2 weeks. I don't think anybody thought that.
Especially with LeBron James going out with their last playoff runs with a groin injury, missing almost 6 to 8 weeks. Man.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Just saying.
The only really thing I took out of this article was progressing well. Okay. It's not, maybe that's just a very broad statement to have there. Hey, things are going well. Hey, the swelling is down and it
that's
looks
facts.
better than they thought it was initially going to be. Hey, this is definitely not the injury that he had in 2018, 2019, where he missed 17 games. Hey, this is just a matter of time. Bron is going to need 2 more weeks and the guy's going to be... You're just looking for something, obviously positive in regards to this. And the article there is basically saying that he's progressing well. That's the best. That's the best basically that you can get from there. Only 2 teams seated lower than third have ever won a title in 78 seasons. Last 30 years.
He just gonna recome.
A little bit confused on that one. Backing you, and that's Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Something interesting to know in this kind of industry, insurance companies always want to settle. They don't want guys like Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Obviously got the Bucks tonight when Luka got traded to the Lakers.
You know what I want? Luka to the Lakers. I want to the Knicks. I want all the Europeans to go to all the big markets, to see something incredible. This is what I want. This is my dream. But again, wish both teams best of luck. You know what I want?
All right, I'll stop right there. So listen, is there a little bit of sarcasm in there? I think there is. But if you told me right now, does Tatum end up somewhere else? Or think of another player that's, with Anthony Edwards end up somewhere else, or Giannis? That one might be a little bit closer. That one actually might be a little bit more interesting as well. Giannis is the one superstar that I'm not surprised in the next couple of years ends up with a different team. I mean, listen, in a perfect world, Lakers would have a shot at Giannis. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that he probably thinks right now Milwaukee has done everything possible to give his squad a shot of just championship, so I'm sure he's appreciative of that. But of every star player that's out there right now, Giannis is the one guy that it's like, would Giannis go somewhere else? Would Giannis play with another team? What does he have left? If Giannis...
At this point, if the Lakers are trying to get Giannis, they need to sit down somewhere. Hey, man, Lakers, we cool. But come on now. Y'all disrespecting the game.
I beg your pardon.
I said the boys ain't playing fair.
Giannis left the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow and decided, I'm just making this up here. He'll play for the New York Knicks. By the way, he's got 3 years left on his contract after this year. The third year is a player option. So you could say 2 years guaranteed before his player option. Teams typically want to trade a star or a player that they know is going to walk or they know wants to leave. They'll probably try to trade him 1 year before. So you're really looking at this year guaranteed for Giannis in Milwaukee and then probably a lot of question marks after that. But it feels like Giannis, if he decided to leave the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow, what is the conversation typically going to be? Giannis is going to say, no matter what happens, I gave that franchise 10, 12 years of my career. I won them an NBA championship. But it feels like of all the players, he's said enough things and he's talked about some things before that I think make your...
All right, we got to break this down. Do y'all think Giannis Antetokounmpo will actually leave Milwaukee? Not to mention all the things that the Milwaukee Bucks did, bringing in Thanasis, letting them ride on the bench. Or will the organization feel slighted, knowing that they've bent over backwards in order to accommodate every request and need that Giannis had?
Your ears kind of perk up and you're like, wait a minute, what did Giannis say? What does that mean for Giannis? Does that mean Giannis does want to go somewhere else? That's the one player that I will say of all the players that are out there that are stars, that's the one that I ask him, like, would Miami ever have a shot at Giannis?
But when you think about the Lakers, what will the Knicks be willing to give up? It's a lot of moving parts.
I'm just kind of naming these markets. He's been in a smaller market. He's done tremendously well. He's a top 5 player in the league. He's won an NBA championship. If he left, I'm sure he's leaving to just try a different franchise, a different market. It's not the most uncommon thing in the world. The more uncommon is Dirk, Kobe, Magic, Michael, guys that never left their team. So that's
And
obviously
that's facts.
it's much more common for people to leave. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments here. But Giannis does. I'm telling you, Giannis to me seems like that one guy that if anybody left, it would be him. Praying for Luka, Giannis, post LeBron era. Listen, just to be blunt here, in a perfect world, that's what everyone that's associated with the Lakers would dream for. Is now you got, by the way, 2 international superstars. You know, obviously trying to build off of what you already have.
Hey man, hey, the type of conversations some of these Lakers supporters be having is crazy. Got me over here like,
Wait a minute.
But once LeBron is done, I mean, clearly Luka's going to need another star with him. That's just how it works. You need 2 real guys to go make it happen. All right, let's see what else we have here.
the finals if you need 2 guys.
Laker fans clearly in a dysfunctional relationship with Ham. Oh, you didn't have to remind anybody about that. I mean, that one is an easy one. A lot of people were dysfunctional with Darvin Ham. By the way, if I go back and I'm reading some of these old ones just because I see some comments that I think that are good.
All right, family. That wraps it up for this video. I appreciate you for being back in because you tapped in. Holla, we out.
And that's facts.